I think it's going to be a good game for the Broncos. I think the offensive line overall has got to be tired of being talked about, and I've done it. Everybody else in the media has done it. But I do think there's some things to really pay attention to. I think first and second down against this Kansas City Chiefs is going to be super important. They're number one in the league. They give up 26% on third down. Why do they do that? Because they can bring so many complicated defenses, and they have so many good pass rushers that they match up with you very well. So you're going to have to take advantage of first and second down to help yourself move the chains. The other thing you got to do is run the football. I mean, let's just get down to brass tacks. The Chiefs give up 5 yards a carry. So if you're going into this football game, Peyton's banged up, you're worried about the kind of blitzes they can bring. What do you got to do? Slow it down. Run the ball at them, chip away, keep knocking at them. And the other thing that people don't talk about, that knocks defensive linemen, their pass rushing ability down significantly. They get tired. They got to pursue. They got to chase the ball down the line of scrimmage. When all they have to do is hone in on one guy who's 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and who's not going to move, which is basically Peyton Manning's game, right? He's going to stay there. He's not rolling out. He's not moving very often. Those guys are fresh. They can fly around. They can be aggressive. When you run it at them and you take their legs from them, begin to kind of chip away and extend drives, I think you become productive. I think the Broncos at home will take advantage of this defense a little bit more than people expect.
So you got Denver winning pretty handily?
I say Denver wins by probably 6 points. I give them 6 points. I don't like to really throw all of it, but I would say 6 points. I think the play-action game is going to open up significantly. If they can run the ball, then it could be Denver could take them out. I mean, if they get that running game going, Peyton Manning's the best of anybody in our game at play-action pass and really reading, selling the fake, making teams bite up, and then hitting them deep with one-on-one matchups. You don't know if it'll get there. If it does get there, it could be much more than 6. I just think at home they're going to get by 6.
Obviously, as our viewers know, we got to qualify or disqualify you. You do love you some Peyton Manning. You played with him for a long time, close friend. Mm-hmm. How concerned are you about his health? Because, he's only been sacked 13 times, which is the second fewest, but 6 came in the last 2 games.
Right.
And he's been taking some shots.
Listen, sacks don't tell the story of what's happening here. Not only is he getting sacked, I am very concerned, to answer your question, very concerned about his health. Mm-hmm. Not of the neck, but he is getting crushed, physically abused by people's defensive fronts. The Colts, they've had 8 sacks in the last 3 games. We're not even talking about big plays where sack fumbles. I'm talking about just hits on the quarterback. Yeah. He's getting smoked. And you cannot physically take but so many hits that you don't see coming. And so I am concerned. And when you got Poe on the inside with Kansas City matching up against Ramirez and Beatles, you're going to have to help somewhere. I mean, this is a 340-pound mauler who can get downhill and close the gap on quarterbacks, and that kind of body weight hitting you repeatedly. That's not even talking about Ali and Houston on the outside. I'm just talking about up the gut. So I am concerned.
But, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I heard you say on Sunday he was really injured, more than what the story told.
Yeah, Peyton does not get up like that. I mean, I played with him for 12 years. I think I saw him miss 1 play, and that was with a broken jaw. I mean, it's a tough kid. I mean, people don't give, we bash quarterbacks about getting protected all the time. I get that. But at the end of the day, these are some tough guys. They take a lot of shots they don't see coming. He's a tough guy. He takes a lot of pride in his game. He's not going to take himself out for plays. He's not going to do those kinds of things. When he gets up limping like that and going to the sideline, and you can see he's showing the opposition, hey, I am hurting. Wow. He is hurting. I mean, otherwise he'd pop up, look at you, bring you the huddle, but hey, give me 20 seconds, guys. Okay. I got hit right there. I need to get my breath.
So will he be handicapped at all by the ankle this Sunday?
If he takes shots early, he will be. The problem with your right ankle being hurt the way it is you don't get any zip on the ball. That's your plant leg, right? You got to drive, and he's got a great core strength. Aaron Rodgers, same thing. Those guys can spin on the dime, but Peyton doesn't have that same arm. He doesn't have that same zip as some of the other guys, so he's got to really put his lower body into it. You start chopping that tree down. Where do you hit it? At the base, right? Chop the tree. You can't get nearly the explosion on the ball. That's what concerns me. If you get hit early in the game and often early in the football game, what does that do to your throwing motion and getting the ball down the field?
I think he wins the football game. I think he finds a way to pull it out as long as he can stay in the game. I think Denver wins along the lines of 30-20, but that doesn't mean he's not going to get beat up. It doesn't mean that we're not going to see the Denver Broncos offense get a bit exposed. And Peyton Manning get a bit exposed simply because he's not as healthy as he would like to be, as Jeff would like him to be, as we all would love for him to be. That's the reality of the situation. And I think right now, looking at it, we've got to look beyond. We've got to use this game, fellas, to look beyond the game. And what I mean by that is that I'm looking at the Denver Broncos now, a team widely considered to be the favorites to go to the Super Bowl as we've watched this season unfold. And I'm saying everything is in jeopardy. Because if Peyton Manning is hurt, that's going to be bad enough. But then when you combine it, Jeff, with the fact that the offensive line is suspect due to injury to some degree and a couple other guys not getting the job done. All right, if you wanted to protect Peyton Manning, you're going to have to get the ball out of your hands very, very quickly. A lot of screens and things of that nature and run your offense that way. That's going to be problematic for the Denver Broncos because it's not going to make them as prolific as we would like them to be. And if you don't do that, then you're opening up Peyton Manning to be target practice for a lot of guys out there that want to get themselves on him. Especially if you're hitting him in the blind side, which is what I'm worried about most, because we all know with his back, we don't need him to be taking those kind of shots. Skip, I think there's only one way to preserve this season for the Denver Broncos as it pertains to expectations and to preserve Peyton Manning for the playoffs. No, Sean Moreno is going to have to play a very, very pivotal role. He's going to have to run the ball effectively and consistently, even though they love to pass the ball because of Julius Thomas and Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker and Wes Welker. This guy is going to have to run the football because Peyton Manning is not going to be given the time to throw the football, and he's not going to be healthy enough to throw it and fling it the way we're accustomed to seeing him do.